Welcome back everybody. In this video we're going to talk on how to publish the builded asset into the RPA manager. So here, as you see, click on the publish button and then click that checkbox where you agree to the terms and conditions, and then this will be going to the publish state. So if you see, the public button is grayed out, right? And also you see 4 errors on all the processes or steps that you have, and the number of steps you have, the number of errors you will be seeing. But don't worry about it right now. That is how it is set up. Since it's in process, you might see them as errors, right? So I'm just minimizing this and coming back to my going back to my manager, or the builder, RPA builder. So here, if you see, we have also discussed this in the last video, that there are a lot of options in the tools. There are app automations, checks, controls, document processing, Excel operations, file operations. These are all different kind of tools that you have, that you can take advantage in the RPA, right? If I want to do something with the mouse controls, keyboard, switch keys, web services, caller, RESTful service, all of this, there are so many tools that were put inside this tools here in RPA designer. So if you see clipboard, these are all something we'll be using on a regular basis if you do the development in the Anypoint RPA manager. So since you have idea on this, now I'm going back and just checking on the status of the publishing my flow, right, to RPA manager. Right now, since it's been some time, I come here to the repository, and then just click on refresh, and now you see that is being published, and I can see it here on my Anypoint RPA builder, right? So if I double click that, and you can also drag this taskbar so that this you can see the owner, last change, and the lock on and off. So right now it's in not lock state, right? So just to show you here, and if you double click, this is exactly the same thing that you have seen over the RPA manager. Right now on the RPA builder, we are trying to build this face, whatever you see here. So now the real fun starts. This is all the thing we have to do now. So before that, just take this out at the bottom, the workflow run results. We don't need that, just close it. And now let's move forward, and then drag this down a little bit so that you can see all the details clearly. And when I click on this first action item here, if you double click that, that will open that into a open rebate site as a you can see all the details, basically, like a workflow initialization, activity workflow finalization, all of these. But mainly in this video we'll be dealing exclusively on the activity workflow, and this workflow is been what captured in the earlier screen recording in the previous video that we have seen. So once you have captured this, you can browse all of those here in the images. So ignore this, but right now let's jump into how to manually do, right? Since we have seen how to do this process or activities in the past video, so right now we're gonna do the next manual steps, how to do, right? So here are the different options available on the top. You can run, print, debug, the workflow, all of these you can do to the workflows. So but right now we will choose to see what all we can do manually here. This is the just a manual way of doing the same recording that we have done via bot recorder, right? So if I click on play, there is an error in click app element, value of the element path cannot be empty. So this kind of error is coming, but just ignore that for now. I would like to just play around, right? So on the top, if you see this fit to the viewport, that means even if you drag that canvas here and there, and if you come back to this button and click that, that will align back to the corner left corner, top left corner. So if I just zoomed it and dragged it, but if I click that button, it's going back. And if you have too complex or too big workflows, then you can click on that map button, so it will give you a small map. And at the very bottom right, you have this zoom button, so all the workflows or different boxes or triangles that you see here in the canvas, you can just zoom in and zoom out, so that you will have that readability that in the RPA designer, right? So just playing around to get familiar with what all options are available in the RPA designer. So it's the time to jump into action. So on the top corner right, click on the activities and parameters. So here is a place where you can set the activity parameters. So click on the add new parameter, and also there are settings here on the next tab where you can change the settings if needed, but I'm not changing anything right now because they have been defaulted to my machine locally. So add the variable, and right now for this exercise, for this entire workflow, I'm going to have three different activity parameters. So I'm going to set them here. Just a moment. So for our workflow here, I have a website. Let's assume it's a awesome cars company, and if I log in, click on login button, then it is asking for the username and password. So right now my username and password I'm entering manually, and then click on login. Once I'm in login page, there on the top I have rebates. So in the rebates we have this tabular content, where my aim is to drag one of this code which you see on the second column and its dollar value when it is passed as a variable or a parameter, right? So let's come back to our RPA designer. So I'm clicking on the create variable and then set alphanumeric variable for now, because the code I would like to grab is a alphanumeric. It's not numeric or alphabet, it's combination of both. So I'm going forward and creating a name for that. So the name of the variable that I'm going to create will be a rebate code, and description you can put like uppercase rebate code, so that gives a small description of this name of this parameters. And the variable, this is a default variable here, so if you don't pass anything here, then this is a bot, so it's gonna error out. This is not like any other programs that been coding, but this is a bot, so default values have to be passed. So make sure you pass something so that it will be the default value. And right now my default value here is a variable value, that is ev2 tire 1. Just for example again, or you can put ev3 window 1 for now. For in this video, let's go with ev3 window 1 as the default value for the this activity parameter. Now let's go forward and click and create add new parameter, one more alphanumeric value that I am expecting to be a parameter in this entire workflow. So go forward and click add alphanumeric value variable, and once you click that, you will get to do the same things that you have done before. Add the name of the parameter, description, and then the variable value. So this one here will be the rebate value that I would like to, I'm expecting in this workflow as a parameter from the external application. So rebate value, and the description will be rebate value again, and the default value of this name can be something. But before that, let me finish the description here. So the complete description is rebate value for promotion. In the value variable value, I will put something like $0, which will be by default, right? So I'll move forward and create one more add parameter or alphanumeric value. There are a lot of variables that you could create. So there is also variable name here. Since I have two already alphanumeric, now I have created the user variable. So here again there will be username and password for that. That's why I've chosen this. So this is again the dynamic values that will be passed to the RPA. So I'm gonna name it as website login, and the description will be login credentials for the website, right? And the variables will be username and password. So these are default values. Again, if nothing is passed, we're gonna use these for testing purpose or as a default value. So I'm gonna move forward and click and type MuleSoft as a username and password as well, whatever you desire, right? Once you have them ready, then you can click on OK. That is configuring the um, dynamic values or the incoming values into this flow. Once you have them in the activity parameter, you can always go there and view them or edit them or create new all the activity parameters that you can expect in this workflow. So coming back to our workflow on the very first activity. So once you have it, it's opening the window. At the bottom you see we have the same screen that we have been seeing for some time. As I said before, we're gonna ignore some of these and create manual steps, the same steps that we have seen in the earlier video. So I will, in this transaction, this is the core component or the core steps that have been involved in this activity. So just right click on that, select that entire window, and then click on disable. So that will be disabled. Once you have this disabled, now we'll move forward and do the manual process of the same recording that we have seen, just for our understanding and for exploring RPA designer again. To create anything in this RPA, right, you need tools, and go to our tools tab here on the top left, and in the tools for our first step, we would like to run a program. So let's select run program and then drag and drop below or above this default disabled flow. So once you have this here, you can see there is a pin icon right beside the run program, but I would like to go double click the run program so that will open the configuration of the run program. Here I'm going to name it as launch browser. So that is one of the run program to be run, and that will be to be more specific, a Mozilla browser in my example. So, and then once you have that name, now you come back and let's explore these values here. One is the insert environment variable. Right now we are not dealing with that. Auto replace variables, that too we are not touching it. All we wanted to do is just explore an Mozilla browser from my local machine. To open that, I would need to put in the file name. So how do I put in the file name here, right? There are two ways to do it. Either you go manually into your file explorer and then go to the C drive, program files, and then you can go into the Mozilla Firefox folder and then select the Firefox option, and then click on the properties here to get the entire file path. You know how to do that. You've been doing that from long time, I guess. To get the file path in Windows, right? It's the same way. Either this is one of the options. Again, either you can follow this and grab the file location, or you can also choose this private browsing here, the other icon. These are the two executable files, the exe files that can be put into our RPA system, and our RPA bot or our RPA designer will take that action item and open that, right? So right now let's go forward with the private browsing. Open that and grab the file location here, and make sure you have the private browsing, the same file name after the slash in the file location, so that bot will know what exactly to refer. So I'm going to paste it here. This is one way. Now let's look at the second way of grabbing that file name. So click on the drop down there and then file path, and now it will point out to the C drive. In the C drive, go to the private browsing inside the Mozilla Firefox folder. This is another way. This is a recommended way. rather than copying and pasting, let RPA Builder choose it. So once I have it ready, I'll just click on this test button here at the bottom, so just to test if it is able to grab that right file location and right file, right? But just before that, let me grab this one more parameter here from the website, the URL where I would like to go after I launch it, right? So that is one of the parameters. So I brought this URL from the website and pasted it in the parameters here. So as soon as my RPA bot will open that browser, it will land on this landing page which I provided in the parameters. Also, if you see here at the bottom, there is a start mode, right? It means when you open the browser, how would you like to open it? Is it like a minimized, maximized, or default? So right now I'm gonna select maximized because there are further steps that we would like to depend on this. So let's select maximized and then click on test now. Let's see how it will open the browser, how it will land on the landing page of the website that I have provided as a parameter in this as a variable, right? So now at the bottom you also have error handling. See, when I click test, it just opened, right, and landed on the page that I wanted. So this is a test passed scenario, so I'm happy with this. So my configurations are correct, so I'm gonna go forward and click OK for now. Now we have seen a sample on how to open a web browser and go land upon a page, right? Now I'm gonna delete that and go to the toolbox and type for OCR, and I'll select the screen um, based OCR, which is a AI component. So I'm going to place it top or below the login which has been disabled. So in the activity parameter on the top, if you click if you select website login and select that, it makes sure that that particular variable or that particular parameter is available across this activities that we are doing here. So in the AI OCR screen, let's configure that little bit. And to configure that, what do you have to do? You have to double click the component and that will open up the configuration dialog box. Let's do that now. So there are few things that I have to do here. So on the top, first name this, right? So what this does is locate the login button. So I'm going to name it locate login button, and in the search modes it's gonna be a text comparison rather than regex. Again, you can have as your business demands, but right now I'm just taking a sample text comparison. And in the text comparison, I would like to compare to what. So in this particular please login to continue button, there is a please login to continue 4 words, and when if I click one of those words, that has to continue to this landing page where we enter the username and password, right? So to get there, first I have to click that button. So to search something there, I have to put in a word that it looks to match. So just for this example, for this video, let's just put login here, and this login will be the search criteria. And in the define scan area is a place where you define the RPA builder to look at. So let's define this. Let's go forward and click on this define scan area, and once you click that, that will open up the browser, and it will ask you to select the area where you would like to search, right? So for that, I'm going to select the top left corner. That is where I have this login, right? Since I have to be at the right place, I just logged out, and then where I can see the login name at least. So let's step back a moment and then open the right place where we can see that login, and then capture that frame. So once you capture that, you will land on this page where it will say please login is found here, right? The login word is found here. Once you get that word match with your image recognition, then you are good. You just have to click OK, so that RPA builder will know that it has been recognized. And if you get any such errors like ease version, these are some of the new errors that this product is getting, but you can completely ignore that. If you click OK now and then click OK again on the previous dialog box, that will go away. So don't get panic when you get such an errors. And there are other options here on the top, bypass, process, pipeline, and all of those, but we're not dealing with any of those for now. So I'm back to this canvas here. So go back to the tools here on the top. Now let's select the next tool that we would like to use. So click on my mouse actions. So mouse actions, we're gonna be a little careful here. Once you have selected this from the tools, drag and drop under the locate login button here. So once you put that down here, now let's double click this. And before that, if you see on the right side of this particular text, there is a dark pin button, which means that there is a variable that has to be taken in action in this process, that particular action, right? So in the above one there is no such thing, but here if you click that, locate login button is present, which has been selected by default, right? So let's go inside once more and see what exactly we have. So click to that relative to, and find coordinates is the exact thing that we would like to do as a edit variable, right? And this is a mapping for the mouse activity that we'll be performing in this video shortly. So once you have that selected, click on OK or cancel, and now double click this mouse actions action tab and enter the name, like click login. So our next task is that to click on that login button using mouse clicks. So to name that, I'm going to name accordingly. So I have named click login. Once you have that, you can click on this play button here, which will start this uh, entire recording manually. So I click on start. So if you see, press F10 to start. So notice that dialog box which just got disappeared. So F10 is to stop the recording. So here I have login at that particular place. So I'm going to click there couple of times here and there, so that even if it is maximized, or in the future cases, if the text changes or font changes or any of the other things changes, it should be a little bit here and there. So mark few points here and there, even though the page is continued. But again, this is just in our example, but if you want to just do it with one click, that is completely okay, because after the first click we do not want to click something else that appears on the website or wherever you are doing it. So be careful on this. This is just a sample example video. Do not go with this. This is just for learning purpose. So once you are ready, click or press F10, function F10 will stop the recording. I have pressed F10, now it stopped. And if you see at the bottom here, there are a lot of mouse actions that has been recorded. There are almost 9 mouse items. It depends on how many mouse items you are recording again. Right now I just put 9 for sample purpose. And if you want to do it again, you can click on start and then it will record again. If you are good with that, just click on OK. For now there are no other configurations that are needed. I'm going forward and just clicking on OK for now. So after you click OK, that means you are okay with the mouse coordinates that it has recorded. To test that, click on that play button there, and once you click on the play button, it will open the Mozilla Firefox, and click on that please log in to continue button. So if you see, that has been done automatically. So my test has been passed and there are 0 errors and 0 warnings on the top. On to the next step. Now let's go into the tools and type for keystrokes. Now we're gonna enter the username and password once we log into that, once we land upon that in login details page, right? So I will do that using keystrokes. So keystrokes, we am dragging and dropping below the locate mouse action item, and then rename it as a refresh button browser, sorry. So I'm going to refresh browser once I am landing on that username and password page. So this is the page where we would be getting in after we perform the locate mouse action, right? So here again in the refresh browser, I'm going to click on start. Once it starts, it will record the keystrokes, everything that you type on your keyboard. So the number of keys that you type will all be listed down in that white area there in that dialog box. So let's try it out how it looks. So start, and then browser will open, but don't pay any attention there. Just type, do your thing. To refresh, it's a control R. So I will put my finger on the control and then R. So if you see there are two steps that has been ran and recorded. Now click on stop. So this keystroke has been recorded and will be there. Now just to verify, I'm just scrolling up and down. There are three steps: control R and control up. So now that is good. Now let's stop that and go back to our transaction or activity workflow that we've been designing here. Let's repeat this step. So after the refresh, I would like to consider some more keystrokes. So I have put the keystrokes drag and drop under this refresh button browser, and now go forward and double click that again, and here enter the name. This time we are hitting the tab button. So once we refreshed, we want to get into that first text field that is there to enter the username. So just enter tab and then stop. That is one tab that has been recorded, if you see there, and then stop it. And once you are good with this, click on OK. If you want to go to another tab, you can repeat the process, but since I am in that tab, I would like to enter the username now. So to enter the username, let's go with the next tool in the tools menu here. So I'm going to tools and then type in user account decrypt. I will tell you why we are doing this here. So click that, select that, and drag and drop below the hit tab in the transactions. Here I'm not going to change any of the name for the user account decryptor, but I would like to choose the user account here. So this step here is essential. I'll show you why shortly. So click on that drop down there which says none, and then select activity parameter. So under that website login, select that. If you remember carefully, on the top we have defined three parameters that we will be using in this workflow, and this website login, there are two parameters, that is username and password, and we would like to pass those across from a calling flow to this workflow, right? So that will be a dynamic parameter. So once you note that parameter, that we have those in hand, that is available, that variable is available as a dynamic variable to be used in this account decryptor. So entirely on a big picture, I'm trying to use that value to enter the username in that website which we are looking at before automatically by this RPA builder, right? That's the whole purpose of this. After that, we would like to move forward to the password tab, right? So again, I'm selecting the enter string. Oh, before that I have to enter the string. Once you decrypt that username and password, you have to enter that string into that text field. So I'm going to double click here on this and then change the name to fill username. That itself defines what purpose of this activity we are trying here. So in the there are a few options in the input string options. So select the pin button here on the left, on the right, and here select the user account decryptor. These are all the dynamic values that we are trying to do. I've explained so many times. So here I'm going to select the username, right, and click on OK. but here I'm getting an error. This is something to do with the product, so let's ignore this option. Let's try the another way. There is always another way to do things, right? So just hit on cancel so that this dialog box will disappear and this will not be a blocker now. So click on this pin button here, and then here the input string, select the same username in the user account decryptor. So in the user account decryptor selected, and then that is been the value that will be filling into that open text field that we have seen on the website, right? Now once you have this, just click OK. Now our next task is to get the password, so I have to tab after username, entering the username, and then repeat the same steps that I have to enter the password and take that password dynamically from the parameters that we have defined in the variables. So let's do that step. Instead of doing drag and drop, I can even copy paste for the hit tab, because it's the same functionality. So you can rename just to avoid confusion. Again, I'm going to rename as tab to password, and also I will change for the above one, and here I will be tab to username. After tab, again I'm gonna copy paste the same fill button here, fill action here. So just copy and paste and just drag it below this tab to password. Now let's change the variables here. Input string will be the password, and click on OK. After that, next go to the tools again and enter keystroke. Drag and drop below this fill, right? And let's configure the keystroke now. So why are we doing this? After you enter username and password, the next thing you hit is enter, right? So to record that, I'm going to name it as hit enter and then start, and then you are already familiar now. Just hit the enter button in the keyboard and it will record that keystroke. After you record that, you know what to do. Click on OK. Alright, time to test this. Let's go forward and click on this run workflow. So if you see, the browser has been opened, and then the click has happened to log in, and then it automatically entering the username and password, and then click on enter, and then it quit that. So basically, if you see, this has been tested. One thing I would like to tell you here is this all in the login that we have done so far, and before that, the open browser, the first step that we have deleted, that has not been really deleted, but it is part of the open rebate site tab here on the gray bar that you see. So right now I have clicked on navigate to rebate page flow or activity. So in that I have disabled the existing activity, and now I am selecting the keystrokes from the toolbox and again configuring that. So here my keystrokes will be Control A and Control C, because once I log in, I have to select all the data that is present there. So for that I have to select all and copy is the name of the keystroke. Again go to the tools and select OCR screen based, and then drag and drop below this, select all and copy. Let's configure this shortly. I'm going to name this as select rebate, because once I land on that page, it has to click on the locate rebate. And where do I locate, right? So define an area. So to do that, again go to the browser, and it will automatically give you browser, and you just select the limited area, not too small, not too big. Again, too big is too much for the engine and the processing to search. So I've selected a little bit on the top left, so that it will select only in that area. Again, once it's selected, it will give you this dialog box. Click on close once you see that rebate word which has been present in that image selection, and click on OK. By the way, I forgot to tell you, you have to select search mode as text comparison. Once it search, it has to compare, right? So enter the word key search word as a rebate. After that, select mouse actions, drag and drop under this AI OCR. In the actions again, name that as before I name, I'm gonna do this clicks rebate, few clicks there, since this present application will just refresh whenever I click that, so no issues there. So I've selected few keys there and rename it as click rebates. Once you have that and all the keys are recorded, again, as I told you before, just one click is also good, or couple of clicks. I've just loaded few clicks just for testing purpose here, nothing fancy. Before I move any further, I would like to check if the activity parameters are still selected. So go back on the top and select rebate code and rebate value that we would be using in this workflow, used in the workflow. Canvas is selected and click OK, and you can name the selected values, but you can ignore for now. And please note that I am in locate rebate action flow and I've disabled the locate rebate pre-recorded action items. And here is the place where I have also selected that activity parameters, reselected them, the two options. So please be mindful here. I haven't covered that in the recording, but we are right now in locate rebate, and you can see all those pages on the top. Each represents one of those action activities, right? As a first tool, we are selecting keystrokes again from the tools menu. Let's drag and drop the keystrokes into the canvas, into the activity workflow. Below or above the locate rebate is fine, which has been disabled anyways. And let's configure the keystrokes here. And again, the whole purpose is to select all and then copy them, Control C. So there are almost 6 keystrokes that has been recorded. Control A, Control C. So when you press Control and remove that, press C and remove that, it's all been counted. So in total there are 6, and name it as select and copy all text, right? Those are two operations performed in this single keystroke. And once you have that, just review them if you captured them all, and then click on OK. The next tool will be read clipboard. So select that and drag it here, read clipboard. So this value that has been selected and copied in the website has to be put into the keep clipboard, right? So extract text is the name of this activity here, read clipboard, and that will act as a variable temporary placeholder for the copied text, and click on OK. Going back to tools, and then now selecting the check regex. I got it. So to check the regex expression, let's select the name for this activity will be, let's ignore the name and just put the regex pattern. This will be the pattern that will extract the dollar value, right? Now go back tools and then select combine strings, because the incoming parameter has to be compared with the value that has been recorded from the screen, right? We'll understand slowly what we are doing here, but just follow my steps here. In the pattern here, to combine the string, I have to get the string. So click on this pin button here in the replace by select none and change it to activity parameter dot rebate code. Now we captured this. Now we have to combine that string, right? So click on OK here, and now let's configure the actual combined string action item. Let's name something to this combined string as build regex, right? That will be little sensible. And then the pattern will be, we have to at the bottom, if you see on the blue text, there is one in the flower braces and it says activity parameter dot repeat code. So that is been recorded as a number one placeholder. So to combine the string, we have to combine the placeholder and dot the regex value that we've been trying to take the dollar value from. So that will be regex, the placeholder dot regex. After that, click on OK. Time to configure the regex, check regex now. So click on that star button there, the pin button actually, and then go to regex, build regex and combine string. So that is the whole purpose of this, right? And then at the bottom in the input text, select the regex clipboard context. So we are combining basically both the values, the regex and the input field that is coming over. And I would like to rename this as extract rebate and then save or OK. Now going to the toolbox again, from the tools, let's select regex again, or you can just copy paste, right? And in the check regex, let's configure again here and name it as a rebate value or find rebate value. And in the regex pattern, as we are already aware, the pattern has to be based on the extract, which is the same regex expression to grab the dollar value. Going to toolbox now and then select set variable. So basically we are trying to put that into a variable whatever we have extracted from the regex, right? And name this variable now. That let's assign a variable, right? Here I'm selecting the rebate value from the activity parameters, and in the new value will be the value which we just extracted from that regex expression. So that will be the first match, and click on OK. Going back to the toolbar here and type for message box. So in the message box we are trying to display the extracted value from this regex expression or the variable that it is holding. So in this message box, let's put in the value here. Before value, I'm gonna name it as output. In the title, just a rebate value as the title, and the text will be the dynamic value which has been present in this set variable, which is under activity parameter value rebate, and click on OK. Now we are technically completed all the activities and their manual implementation and recordings basically. So now let's test how this is gonna work. So click on this run workflow top button here just for locate page. Again, we are not testing the entire application yet, but we'll see how to do that slowly. So click on this run workflow again. So it should copy, select all, copy, and then display in the message box here. But right now I'm getting empty value. Let's see what I have done wrong. Let's debug here. After a little troubleshooting, I found out that in the find rebate value I have not put the input text here. So select the extract and the first match, and then let's test it again. Select all, Control C, and then the message box, it's $275 has been displayed. So we technically tested this locate rebate page. So you can also just ignore that output and then just write to a clipboard, and to test everything, as you clicked on that play button on the top canvas, that will deploy locally and test the entire workflow. So let's see, close the browser before you test and minimize every other browsers or any other open windows that you have. See, it has automatically opened my Mozilla Firefox, landed on the website, and then now going forward with the username and password, entering the text and clicking on the next button, enter button, and then now we are landing on the rebates has been clicked automatically by the bot, and then few times again, and now control A, select everything, control C, and now we gonna capture just the ev2 window 1 or one of that values, copy, and then it has been copied to the clipboard. So now how to know that the value has been copied? So just basically go to any place where you can paste, and then paste the value. There you will see that the dollar symbol that has been captured will be pasted. So at the bottom there is a test run information where you can see all the logs, like things that are present there in the test run information. So just going into the browser and then paste. See, it is pasted from the clipboard that $275 amount has been displayed successfully. So the entire test has been ran successful, and here we complete the testing of our RPA designer, which we built manually all the activities. Just to add one last step, this is to close the browser that has been opened. So select keystrokes from the tools, again drag and drop at the bottom of the right clipboard, and I'm going to name it as a close browser, and then click on add keystrokes, and then you can also add manually rather than just a start and stop. So here if you see in the keystroke first one, insert special characters, I'm going to select alt. So I scroll down a little bit, and then there at the top you see alt down. So alt down is the first keystroke that have been selected, and click on OK, and then you can add multiple keystrokes, right? So click on add button again, and again in the insert special character, now I'm going to select F4 as that is the close browser option, right? And then again add keystroke, and then we are releasing alt button, so alt up. So these are the three keystrokes that we are selecting back to back and trying to execute. So I've just selected this keystroke. You can also type that in the braces as in uppercase, alt up, that will also count as a keystroke. And after that make sure you uncheck and check these boxes which are displayed, so that it's done exactly as shown in the video. So once you have that, test this application again, running the final test again. So make sure your browser is closed. So now the test is running, and the bot is automatically opening Mozilla Firefox from the application programs in the Windows, and once it's on the landing page, it's clicking on login button, and it's automatically going forward and entering the username and password and logging in. And once it's there, it's going to look for rebates, and the rebates has been found, and clicking multiple times, a few refreshes happened. Now it's going to control A, select everything, control C into the clipboard, and now close the browser. This is the last step. So and then once the test has been ran successfully, you will get the dialog box.